Tulsi Gabbard is the director of national intelligence. All right, Tulsi, if you have foreign nationals saying, if you enforce the law, we're going to burn down your city, is that like a hostage crisis?
They are very clearly undermining the rule of law from the point that they entered our country illegally. And when we look at the dynamics that led us to this moment, Jesse, it all actually makes sense. This didn't come up out of nowhere. We had 4 years under the Biden administration of open borders that was very intentional by the Democrats. They thought it would help them politically. But there were vested interests as well in the cartels who profited heavily from human trafficking and drug trafficking, and who see the American people in our country as a new consumer base for their illicit trafficking. But all of this undermining of the rule of law, these open borders, is what leads to these riots that are happening in cities across the country. I found it interesting in your earlier clip, Jesse, about hearing Gavin Newsom talk about democracy and, this is democracy, and the hypocrisy of what is happening here. First Amendment says, yes, we each have a right to peacefully protest, but also under the Biden administration, they were the ones who were censoring free speech, who were trying to tell us what we were allowed to say and where and what topics, and who were targeting American citizens for exercising our fundamental constitutional rights. The bottom line is they don't care about the American people. They don't even care about the people that they're claiming to protest for. So many of them are paid protesters. This thing is being orchestrated, obviously, in many ways. And ultimately, President Trump is the one who took action to keep the American people safe and try to bring peace back to the streets that these rioters are destroying.
What can you tell us about the orchestration, the financing, and is Gavin, either whether he knows it or not, actually siding with the cartels here?
Whether he knows it or not, he is, certainly. Again, this is something that the Department of Justice and the FBI is looking into, who is funding these protesters. We've seen, the ads put up on Craigslist offering people thousands of dollars a week to go out and conduct these violent and dangerous riots in the streets of not only Los Angeles, but we saw earlier in Chicago and New York and other cities across the country. And ultimately, again, what the Democrats are advocating for is this continued lawlessness on our streets. And once again, insulting the intelligence of the American people, saying, don't believe what your eyes see very clearly is happening. Just listen to us when we tell you nothing to see here, just peaceful protests. The American people are not as stupid as these Democrats are trying to make us out to be.
Yeah, Trump got shot in the head, and he almost got hit a second time because a lot of people in this country hated him. They thought he was a dangerous dictator. If you have the politicians on the other side calling this man a dictator, and you have people, elected officials, calling ICE the Gestapo, what kind of environment does that create?
It creates a very dangerous one that we're seeing play out in the streets today. President Trump continues to get threats on his life because of those who are characterizing him in this way, and those who refuse to acknowledge the reality of how important it is to uphold the rule of law. We heard them talk about upholding the rule of law in all of their criticisms of Donald Trump. But again, you can see this contrast of their words versus their actions. They are supporting these criminals running rampant in our streets, throwing Molotov cocktails, looting businesses. Mayor Bass is talking about bringing businesses together. Why don't you help protect their ability to earn a paycheck and take care of their families? Actually support local law enforcement who are putting themselves on the line to keep our streets safe. Say thank you to the National Guard and those Marines who are helping to bring peace to our streets and uphold the very rule of law that is foundational to ensuring we are protecting our democracy.
Tulsi, that's such a good point. And she made the same mistake during the LA fires. She let the fires burn, yes, and then she asked everybody to come in and help. Did the same thing in LA. Let it get out of hand and then ask everybody to come bail her out. We got to stop the bailouts. It's got to stop. Tulsi Gabbard, thank you so much for joining Jesse Watters Primetime. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.